I'm here. I'm just waiting for my dumbass co-host who's always late when you want to do something, but you have to be on time when they want to do something. Did you fall asleep?
Yeah, I fucking drooled on my hand.
You fell asleep in the like from the minute I said Will's gone insane to now.
Yeah, well,
Or was you?
have you seen Predator 2?
Have I seen Predator 2? Yes, I prefer it to the
Shit,
sequel
shit,
to the
shit
first one.
happens.
You sure you weren't knocking one out?
No, I fell asleep genuinely.
Wow, that takes some doing. Falling asleep within
I
5 minutes of
from the
me.
best, mate. What can I say?
Yeah,
There was only one person who did it better than me.
that was me, baby. That's right.
Uh,
The masticating, masturbating, hibernating. GG.
Hibernating.
We're
Yeah,
live. We're live, by the way. We're on.
yeah. I know. Sorry, I'm just getting myself out of my groggy state and wiping my fucking drool off my arm.
Did you fall asleep sleeping up on the
Yes,
chair?
yes, yes. I've done that a
Gee,
few times, by the way, on my fucking chair, man.
that's what
Have
happens
I
when you
fallen asleep on
get
this
to an
fucking
age,
chair for like?
man.
Mm,
Listen, I okay. So I got up early today because I get up early all the time because I go to bed early. But I had a hospital appointment to get a final X-ray on my wisdom tooth before this bloody thing finally comes out.
yeah.
And so yeah, I go to the hospital. I do the thing. They were like, no, we don't usually do inpatient appointments on Good Friday. So I started swearing like a trooper because this saga never ends. And then they're like, look, there's no need to swear and shout. I said, I'm not shouting at you. I'm shouting at the never ending suffering that I'm going through over one wisdom tooth. I said, I've had three out in no time, and this one, you lot are taking a piss. So I got x-rayed in the end, and I turned around to the nurse. I said, you see, yelling and swearing does get results because you are forced to act. It's not pleasant, but if I was polite, you wouldn't have done anything. You would have sent me away and all that kind of crap. Anyway, I did that. Then I went and popped into my nephews because they're around the corner from that Barnet Hospital. And then I
Yeah, yeah,
came
Barnet
home.
General.
Yeah, so I went. Yeah, that was at Barnet. That's where I had to get my X-ray. And then I went to see my nephews. Had a lovely time with them. Got back home. Had something to eat. 1 o'clock. And then I just passed out until like 5, 6 o'clock. Had a nap. That's where this story was leading to. That I had my nap earlier, and it was glorious.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't get my camera working for a start for some reason. Maybe get yours. Maybe if you get yours working, maybe mine will work. I'm going to come back out and go back in again.
Okay. Oh, I don't want to straighten my face. It does my eyes. My skin is so... Look at that blotch. Terrible.
Yeah, I'm having the same issue with my camera for some reason.
Is it running on anything else?
Oh, yes.
There you go.
I will have to go back out and come back in.
That's fine. There we go.
Look at my bold, beautiful head. All shiny.
Lovely. Nice and shiny. I could slap my cock on that. Or take a dump on it like a Vince McMahon.
Yeah, well, I need hair for that.
No, just slip off and just, whatever.
Yeah, actually, before I mention my other thing, it's funny that now Brock Lesnar's making, the news in the sense of being in the WWE, facing Obafemi, since he's come back from SummerSlam, people have kind of forgotten about all the atrocities he's done, and then boom, that, what's her name again?
Janelle Grant.
Janelle Grant. She's come back into the news and put a spotlight back on Brock Lesnar regarding what sort of person he is.
Yeah. What are the details on that? I didn't get the second round.
I didn't see it too much, but she was mentioning about I'm gonna have to bring up the Janelle Grant, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know how you spell Janelle.
Yeah. Okay, I got something here from ESPN. All right.
Yep.
Former WWE employee Janelle Grant, who in lawsuit accused ex-leader Vince McMahon of sexual battery and trafficking during a time of pro wrestling promotion from 2019 to 2020, filed a 40-page affidavit detailing more of her allegations. In the document filed in the U.S. District Court of Connecticut, Grant outlined alleged emotional, physical, and sexual abuse by McMahon and former head of talent relations John Laurinaitis, her interactions with Brock Lesnar, and new allegations that current WWE President Nick Khan offered to help her get a different job outside the company with his connections in the industry. McMahon has repeatedly denied the allegations since Grant initially fled a federal lawsuit against him and Laurinaitis in 2024. Laurinaitis was removed from the suit after reaching a settlement and agreeing to cooperate with Grant and her legal representatives. I felt used, leveraged, humiliated, shamed, dehumanized, intimidated, and exploited for the business and the sexual gratification of these men, Grant said in the affidavit. Grant was hired to work in WWE legal department in 2019 and said her encounter with McMahon, who lived in the same condominium complex, became sexual relatively quickly. By 2020, she said she felt trapped in her relationship because of the COVID-19 pandemic, relegating her and McMahon to work from home in the same building. Vince had unlimited access to me to act on his sexual impulses on any day at any time. I could not escape from him at work or home, she said. Grant said she was forced into multiple threesomes with McMahon, his friend, and on other occasions, Laurinaitis. Grant also offered more details on her interactions with Lesnar, the WWE superstar whom she previously identified as someone McMahon would traffic to. Although the two never met in person, Grant said in a new filing that she was contacted by Lesnar in 2021 that he went by Polish Joe and that he asked for new photos and sought to have her travel to meet him. I now understood that I would not only be expected to perform sexually for Brock, but I would also be expected to travel to other states to do so, he said in the affidavit. Per the new filing, Grant's exit from WWE began in January 2022, when McMahon believed an anonymous source might have initiate details of their relationship, and that if leaked, they would severely damage his career. Grant said that Khan sought to reroute her to another employer by using his industry contacts to remove her as a legal liability to the company. But Grant said she was hesitant to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and the two sides were allegedly at an impasse. McMahon stepped down as WWE CEO later in 2022. Granted her eventual departure led to significant stress on her life, and that she considered suicide. I felt I was trapped in the system of exploitation where anyone could weaponize information about me and be blackmailed, she said in an affidavit. I became suicidal and considered jumping to my death to avoid the hell my life was about to become. WWE didn't immediately respond for a request for comment.
Okay, we can leave it there. So it's still the same information that we already had from the previous stuff about Brock Lesnar. And that if it wasn't for the pandemic, he probably would have ended up having her and she being trafficked to him. So I should thank his lucky stars for the pandemic then.
Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of good came out of it.
Yeah, I'm not bloody surprised to hear this. Like, you know, a lot of wrestlers, it's very rare you get good ones, you know. So this doesn't surprise me. I really hope she finds some kind of justice. And this at a time where there was like murmurs and innuendo about them kind of opening the door for Vince's return. And as soon as that started bubbling up to the surface, our heroine comes back and then slaps a further suit, which is good. Because Vince should never be allowed to come back. He should die alone in the shadows. You know, a poor man with his billions. But you know, he still has shares in TKO. That's the thing. That's what worries.
He had a chance to die in that car crash, and he fucking still survived that.
Yeah, because evil just doesn't bloody die. It's the opposite to the last Halloween film where they were like, "Evil dies tonight." No, it doesn't die. I mean, Mitch McConnell's still around. That guy's a walking corpse. You know, because they have the money to stay alive. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And yeah, but you know what? We're on wrestling, so I might as well go into wrestling. I don't watch WWE. I can't stand. I try. I can't fucking stand it. And then I was sitting there, but because I follow like Cultaholic and just to get in on the general wrestling news, all of a sudden I'm seeing like from fans being like, "Hey, hi, you know, we don't want celebrities in wrestling," to now we've got like what 3 or 4 of them featured in WrestleMania, like Jelly Roll, I Show Speed, Lil Yachty, obviously Logan Paul's still around, at least you know. All this kind
Logan Paul is the exception to the rule, as far as I'm concerned.
He's the exception to the rule. He's a garbage person, but at least can't fault him for his effort.
Yeah,
and his ability. But and that's the thing with Logan Paul. Like, if he just didn't do the scamming or rectified his mistake, it'd be fine. He'd be accepted. But you know, just no. But regardless of him, like I'm seeing Jelly Roll still. Why is Jelly Roll still there? He's like he's like a bloody tumor that won't go away.
It's a WWE though, man. They regardless of Vince McMahon being there or not, they glue themselves to any celebrity who's willing to fucking attach themselves.
Gotten worse. It's gotten worse. Like,
he is the biggest country music star in the world. You know, like
Christ.
They are not going to lose out on. And the guy loves wrestling so much so he had a fucking match with Kit Wilson. You know, and he was in SummerSlam the year before that, or 2 years before that, or whatever it was. You know,
it's insane. It's getting too much.
And I Show Speed is always good to see him fucking get speared or bumped or thrown out the ring. I enjoy that. Even though he's becoming a little bit more tolerable. I mean,
don't get me wrong. I like the kid. He's come a long way because he rose to fame being a very typically toxic person online, like really like horrible, misogynistic,
racist when he was in the World Cup in Qatar. He went
Yeah,
up to Korean fans or Chinese fans, and we're going. I mean, they're not Japanese, Korean or Chinese. I forget what Asian nationality they were, but he
it
was
was
going
Korean.
Konnichiwa,
Yeah.
Konnichiwa, in their face. And I think, what are you doing, mate? Now, look, he's done some things that I'm hoping he's turning himself around and he's not being that stupid kid
Oh, he's
anymore.
changed massively. He has changed
Yeah,
massively. Like he's come a long way. He's actually grown. He's one of the few people that have grown to the point where he's actually become likable. Because I kept like banging on and on, like, why do we keep paying attention to this toxic little shit? But then to see how he's transformed and actually aged himself appropriately to the point, where he just did like a nice tour of China as well. He kind of showed China and what that was all about, and he's more respectful when he goes abroad and all this. That's great. I still don't want him in wrestling though. I
yeah,
don't want him.
yeah,
I
he
don't
broke
want little
Palestine as
Yachty.
well.
Yeah, I especially don't want rappers in there because they're such
Lil
gormless
Yachty, I have
fuckwit.
no fucking idea who this person
It's
is.
just another stupid rapper. Like that other prick they had that burst um Cody Rhodes' eardrum almost when he slapped him.
Oh yeah, that dickhead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I can't
he
have
got
them.
he got
Like
he got a
rappers are the
receipt, by the way.
worst. Huh?
Cody Rhodes gave him a receipt, apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. They should. Like honestly, like rappers, they do my head in because they're thick cunts. Doesn't matter what race they
Well,
are. They
I
fall into
give.
that
Look, as much
thick.
as much as Snoop Dogg has gone to the dark side, that time at WrestleMania, he did use his initiative after fucking Shane McMahon botched his knee, and he came into the ring and done an elbow drop on Miz. That was using his initiative a little bit, I guess. But other than that, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Snoop is like the old school people. You know what I mean? I'd say he has a brain, but he doesn't have a brain. Rappers are just. I'm sorry. They fall into that trap of just not looking to just expand their mind. They just fall into. That's why so many of them, like especially like on the black side, are fucking Trump supporters. They think, oh well, in his last time he released a couple of prisoners, ergo this is my guy. It's like, bro, the whole scope of things. You know what I mean? That's
P. Diddy, Snoop Dogg, who initially hated Trump, now he's a Trump supporter. And
yeah, he's a Trump
it's
supporter.
funny because like the guy is quite witty and knows how to use his words very well when he was against Trump. But now you have to ask him to explain himself. He can't say shit.
Can't say no.
Ice Cube is another one as well. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
at least Eminem still hates Donald Trump. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eminem, Ice-T is the GOAT, man. Ice-T,
yeah.
Ice-T shows why Ice-T is Ice-T. I've always loved Ice-T. That guy is a
He hates
comrade.
modern rap as well.
Huh?
Like he's
Hates it.
called out mumble rap and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately, because he is the guy that in his 60s, I believe. You know what I mean? Maybe getting close to his 70s even.
I don't think he's that old, but he is in his 60s.
I'd say he's about 64. At a guess.
Oh my God, you were right. It's 68.
68. There you go.
Holy crap.
Well, considering I'm almost 50, I do feel, I mean, these guys were adults when I was watching them as a kid.
Next year you're going to be the big 50, aren't you?
I'll be 49 next month, and I'll be 50 next year.
What are you doing for your 50th?
I have no idea, man. I never know, man. I'll probably go up and see my bro or something like that, But
I'll take you out for a meal, that's for sure.
All right. Well, yeah, but regarding Ice-T, because he's boomer age, he gets ridiculed by modern day rappers, unfortunately.
They couldn't hold. Modern day rappers couldn't even hold a candle to Bubba Sparks, and Bubba Sparks was an Eminem ripoff, and yet he could at least rap. Like modern rappers, they can barely speak English, let alone rap. I can't. Listen. Anything hip hop post 1996, when basically the big record labels bought the independent black-owned record labels or drove them out of business or crushed them and took back their monopolies. Ever since then, you can see the direct correlation between rapping going from commentary on their life and everything they're going through to just basically pimping capitalism and consumerism. And that
George
happened,
Clinton, another one. He can't hold a candle to him either.
yeah, like 1996 was the year for me that rap died, because that's when like your Puffies, your Jay-Z came up, and their stuff is not substantive. It's all about materialism and pimping out Italian products and all this kind of shit.
Yeah. Look, the funny thing is that there is a bit of materialism in old school rap as well, but it's how they were from nothing, and they were all hood guys. They're all in the hood.
Yeah, they went from nothing to something, but a lot of their stuff still talked and covered their plight and the plight of their people. Whereas after 96, it is very rare that you got people, at least in the mainstream, that
it
talked
began with
about.
people like Little Bow Wow and shit like that. Like they were like the
Yeah,
beginning of that stuff. But I never really liked him. But yeah, and he's not even called Little Bow Wow anymore. He's just Bow Wow apparently, because he's not little. He's like
he's not
Nick Nokia
relevant.
40. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah, like a lot of these guys are fucking middle class kids and shit like that. You know, went to regular schools, weren't even brought up in the fucking hood, and you see, and they don't even know how to rap. Like they haven't got this ghetto poetry
None.
in them. You know, they don't have it. Like
Yeah.
you know, they just try to put words together, and maybe it might work, maybe it doesn't. But as long as it sounds like it rhymes, and that's all that matters. You know,
And educate. Look, it's a direct correlation between the decline in education in America and the state of rap as well, because at least like the old school rappers, they had a decent enough education compared to now, and you can tell the difference. So, and a good example of that is like, so a modern rapper. He was only 17 at the time when I discovered him, when I found him on my feed on YouTube, because I still look for like rap that's good. It's just very rare. It's not like and he's called Afro. That was his name, Afro. 17 years old, and this guy was phenomenal. He was like Busta Rhymes but smarter in terms of the speed, the flow, but his articulation was like second to none. And what it was is because his mum was like, listen, you could do as poorly as you like at school, but when you're home, we're getting you read and educated, and as punishment, she would make him read the dictionary rather than the Bible, because I don't think she was religious either. So she'd make him read the dictionary as punishment. So obviously he learned a lot of the words. And it just goes to show you how somebody well read and well versed and well educated, even though they grew up piss poor, is a solid rapper that can hold a candle to the old greats compared to everyone else who's just doesn't even rap. They just mumble a bunch of crap and they're like, yay.
LL Cool J, remember him? Like, I'm gonna knock you out. Mama say knock you out.
Legend, yeah.
Yeah,
Legend.
great.
Dickhead, but legend. He's another MAGA as well.
Is he MAGA? Oh,
yeah.
That,
there's loads of them, mate. There's loads of them. Even like Chili from TLC as well. She's another one.
Oh
no. There's loads of them.
Like
it's just psychos.
Like I'm a big fan of like the Wu-Tang Clan, so some of their members, like, especially Method Man. I don't know if he's MAGA or not. He's 55 years old.
No, those boys. So the majority of Wu-Tang Clan are comrades. You know what I mean? A lot of them just, socialists, progressives. A lot of those types. So all the really good ones, you can.
He was in
tell. Well, I say all the really good ones. Ice Cube was really good, but just disappointing.
Yeah, he was in Godfather of Harlem. Ludacris. Oh my god, I'm just having a look at Coolio. Recently we saw what's his name, Afro Man, like come back just for a little bit, doing that rap video. Taking the piss at that cop. DMX. Oh my god, like these guys, Fat Joe. No, Ja Rule, no, thank you. Jay-Z.
Well,
I've never been a fan. I've never been a fan of Jay-Z. I never.
no,
Redman's
I
the
like
guy I
I
like.
only like 2 songs of his. One of those is obviously Big Pimpin', and the other one was a more recent one, just a decade ago, and it was The Death of Auto Tune. And in that, I'll give him props because he raps beautifully in that. But other than that, he's part of the contingent of rappers that I hate because he's just a capitalist, a materialist, doesn't give a shit. And you can tell that because look at him. You don't look at Jay-Z. Do you know his politics? You don't know his politics. Do you know why? He doesn't give a fuck. He just cares about money. That's why he's a billionaire.
It's 55. Redman is as well.
Yeah,
Jay-Z must be quite old. He's 50. Yeah, a lot of these rappers are old, man.
they're old, but all the
55.
best ones.
Fat Joe. Nelly must be in his. Yeah, Nelly's 51.
Yeah, mate.
You know what I mean?
All these rappers, all the good ones, they're in their 50s now, on 60s.
Getting hot in here and all this shit. Like, I never liked Nelly too much.
I don't like Nelly. Nelly was part of that. Listen, I don't like many rappers post 96. Ludacris is one of them as well. I don't give a shit about Ludacris. I never liked DMX either. Like, just
no, I don't like DMX. Dr. Dre 61.
See, Dr. Dre is a goat. I love Dr. Dre. He's one of my all-time favorites. He was great. Yeah, Dre's 61, man. He's been around since 1984. He's been around, and then 6 years later they did the NWA. Because he was in a trio before that, and they were just kind of doing like electro funk kind of music before all that. So it's some good stuff actually. You should just if you can find it, just look at Dr. Dre's old stuff from the 80s. It's pretty decent.
Just looking at these rappers of like yesteryear and like seeing where rap music has gone now, where it's not political, it's not it has got no meaning to it whatsoever. It's like it just upsets me.
It's soulless. It's just soulless, materialistic horseshit. Literally every song is Gucci this, Ferrari that, monies, and it's just like they all sound the same. I couldn't tell you anything. Everyone's got Lil in their fucking title. It started from Wayne and then
it's mumble rap as well. Like every person you listen to, they've got the same sort of style.
Yeah,
as well.
Same style, same garbage, and I can't tell them apart. And to be fair, it's the same with American female singers. I can't tell them apart. I don't know who's who. They all sound the same. Because the issue with America in general is their music is fucking awful now, because it's just in terms of access, it's almost impossible. Like, you'll either become a stupid mumble rapper through social media, or you just use as a sexual object. Because all the female, I don't know any American female artist that doesn't sell their body rather than their music. Whereas over here in the UK, it's just about the music. You know what I mean? And
one of my favorite groups is London Grammar, and the lead singer.
I love London Grammar. They're brilliant. I've seen them live.
The lead singer of London Grammar is beautiful, but she doesn't have to sell herself. You know what I mean?
Same with Alice as well. They don't.
It's funny because I used to think about Mariah Carey being like that, and then she fucking took all the clothes off, man, and then. I mean, she's still great, but she ended up having to go down the same route as
they all did
a lot of other artists.
They all did it because they think that that's what people want. Miley Cyrus did it as well, and it's just like you do realize that. And Miley Cyrus annoys me because her music is genuinely great. I love Miley Cyrus.
I think Miley Cyrus is talented as fuck.
She's very talented.
She's very talented.
She has a very unique voice. Like, if she comes on, I know it's Miley Cyrus. But in terms of like other ones like Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, the one that's in that show, Lopez, whatever her name, not Jennifer Lopez, Selena Gomez, all them kind of types, Chappelle Roan, all these ones, I can't tell them apart. They come on the radio when I'm driving, and I'm like, I don't know who this is. But Miley, I know Miley.
Miley Cyrus did something really good, made me really appreciate it. It was like she was asking. She pretended to be an Australian news reporter, and she did all the accent and everything. Yeah. And she wore like a different. She wore an outfit, but she wasn't really changing her face too much. But she had a picture of herself as Miley Cyrus, and she was asking people what do they think of Miley Cyrus as an Australian news reporter. And she was, it was just brilliant. You know, you can really see her talent there.
Yeah,
You know,
she's just yeah, I love
I
Miley
can't believe her
Cyrus.
dad is Billy Ray, man. You know what I mean? I'm fucking
Another
broken my heart.
legend, mate. Another legend.
And then Magga as well, though.
I know he's a MAGA, but I expect
Don't give him the benefit of the doubt because you fucking got
no.
soft.
I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm just saying that mullet will forever live in infamy. You know what I mean?
That's
That's
a
it.
one-hit wonder, man. For
I don't
fuck's
really
sake.
give a shit about Billy Ray Cyrus, but it's that mullet was just.
He's lucky he had a daughter like Miley who fucking
He literally
catapulted.
lived, yeah. He exploited that.
Hannah Montana and all that shit. You know what I mean? So
But,
it all started off with Britney, by the way. Britney began it, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
The Disney kids.
Everyone became a Britney Spears clone.
Yeah.
After that,
because
all the way
Britney
up to Andrea Grande now and all that shit.
Yeah,
you know
because Britney was such a success, they copied it. After that, we had Christina Aguilera, and then we had who were the other ones? Oh, what was her name? Mandy Moore. And then we had, then we had to suffer through the god awful pop idol X Factor stuff as well.
I just want to mention regarding Britney Spears because there was a period when she was still quite fresh in the game that one of the things that she liked about her was that she was still a virgin. Do you remember?
I remember they were so obsessed with that. Bloody idiots.
Even though she should be like dancing around like she fucking like she isn't, and she perform like she isn't. Apparently she was still a virgin. And then Frank Spencer, is it Frank? No, Frank Skinner. Sorry, not Frank Spencer. Frank Skinner. Him and David Baddiel did shit, but Frank Skinner did his own show once, and he had Britney Spears on his show, and he basically wanted to talk to her about her being a virgin and how she promotes it, and Britney Spears was very embarrassed about talking about it, and that made me realize instantly she's about as fucking virgin as Johnny Sins. You know what I mean? She ain't fucking. Made me realize.
Yeah, it was just marketing. It was marketing to appease the backwards ass Christian consumers in America. It's ridiculous. And what a stupid thing! Like, why would you ask somebody that kind of question? Do you just sit there like have a bloke? And this is what always used to annoy me. Like, even from a young age, I used to find this stuff just weird. Like the comparison of questions they ask women compared to men. So with women, it was always obsessed about their sex life, of what they're wearing, their makeup routine, their looks, all that kind of stuff. With the blokes, it was more just like, oh, do you like football? You like drinking? All this kind of crap. And it's just like, hi, women do like football. They do like drinking. They do like having a good time, clubbing, music, all this kind of shit. But I
100% agree with you. But when you make your marketing about your virginity and then you get asked that particular question, you need to stand by it,
But she didn't make it her marketing. It was the record label. That's the difference.
No, yeah. So it made me realize instantly that the moment that she was too embarrassed to talk about it is that she wasn't a virgin whatsoever.
Oh yeah,
and it was kind of obvious after that.
Yeah, which is fine. That's her choice. But again,
I don't give a shit out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just something I noticed.
Yeah.
Because now she's got like 15 fucking kids.
I just did full screen.
No, you're still here.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. But this was the thing. It was like the record labels. They still do it to this day. They sell sex rather than music because the music.
See what they did to Ariana Grande. My God, you look back at
another one that was from Disney.
And it's gross what they did to her, man. It's absolutely gross.
Yeah.
Props to South Park for taking the piss out of them. You know what I mean?
Is that the Britney Spears episode?
No, it was the one with
the Lorde one.
The one with the pop group and making the hind them I think it might have been the finger bang one. I'm not sure.
Oh, that predates that. Yeah, that even predates Britney.
No, but it had Mickey Mouse in it. It had Mickey
Oh
Mouse in
no, the
it.
Jonas Brothers episode.
Yeah.
Jonas, yes. I sell sex to little girls. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like and Mickey Mouse was like a fucking like he was like a mafia boss. You
yeah.
know?
And that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
You know what I
that was
mean? That's
brilliant.
exactly what it is.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Love that episode. Love that episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no way, I'm not doing that. And then like the boys walk in and their mouths open. Like, what's a blowjob? That's gross. And then the boys walk in and all the girls are like just fucking
This is the
mad.
way Mickey would beat the shit out of them as well if they wouldn't obey and
Yeah.
everything. That absolutely.
So good.
And then they'll do the Mickey Mouse sort of talk, like we like little laugh, huh? Like that, and
Yeah.
beating them up. Yeah.
You don't fuck with me. Ha
Oh, that's glorious.
Oh mate. But yeah, that's what it was always about. It was just that's what they do. And even to this day, they do it now. Like every time I see you know, an American female artist, it's all about just wear as little clothes as possible. And it's just like, yeah, you have to do that because your music's shit. So you need something more memorable. Whereas in the UK, you know, what's that? Is it Olivia Dean who's just absolutely like blown up here in the UK? Is like swept all the awards, and she doesn't do all of that. She's just got standard, easy listening kind of music, a bit like the Corinne Bailey Ray of this generation. Um, so yeah, it does my nothing. But what a tangent we went off. We started with wrestling, and we went down a whole musical route.
Well, Lily Allen is one of our biggest stars in the UK, and she never had to fucking do any of that shit,
Nope.
any of that sexualizing. She was just really talented.
None,
She's going
none
out
of our,
with Harper.
yeah, none of ours. I think the only one that comes close to doing what the American women did is Jessie J, and that didn't work for her, and she just disappeared literally overnight. 18 months, she was everywhere. She even did like with Nicki Minaj and all those other, and Ariana Grande. She did a song with them too, and then literally the next day, bang, that was it. She was gone. Because here in the UK, people were just like, what are you doing? You're just basically taking off all your clothes and your music shit. No thanks. We've got better artists than that. I mean, Adele. Adele's possibly the biggest British music star of all time, female British music star of all time. And she was a big mama, but it was her music. You know what I mean?
And she has slimmed down, but that was down to her.
Yeah, now she's slimmed down massively, which fair play to her. But before slimming down, she was, a big mama and an absolute gobshite, who I love that, by the way, about her. But she was huge, massive, because her music, phenomenal. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So
there's Catherine Jenkins, by the way, who I've actually had in my cab. Fucking stunningly beautiful woman, by the way, but she never had to fucking get the tits out for the lad, so to speak.
She's a massive cokehead behind the scenes as well.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, she's a bit of a diva, but who cares? Yeah, she never had to get her baps out. But again, you can't really sell opera it through sexualization. It's just weird kind of thing.
No, but nevertheless, it's not like they could have like outside of like her singing, they could have like done photo shoots or whatever. I mean, there are some interesting photos she's done of herself, but nothing to really say, okay, this is a bikini shot. None of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
but even when you look at our girl groups, like Girls Aloud, Little Minx, and all of them lot, like Little Mix,
Spice Girls,
even them, like in terms of how much they sexualize themselves, it's minimal compared to like the American contingent. You know what I mean?
It was really just ginger and scary.
Yeah, and they just wore like, nice clothing kind of thing. But that's about That's about it. But they're not trying to like parade around and like just wear nothing and then gyrate like there's no tomorrow kind of stuff. Because the music was for what it was. It was genuine fun. You know what I mean? Pop,
Mel C was
silliness.
the most talented singer, and she was the one
Yeah,
who dressed, who covered herself up the most.
yeah, yeah. Mel C, and Baby Spice were the only ones that can actually sing in that group. The other
When
two,
you call yourself Baby Spice as well, you can't be making yourself look like I'm about to say, sorry, I almost said the wrong word. But you can't make yourself, yeah, you know what I
yes,
mean.
you can't sexualize yourself if you're called Baby. Spice.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, yeah, like if you fast like Girls Aloud, every single one of those were just stunning. But again, their music was catchy and fun enough where it was just like you don't really give a shit what they're wearing. It's
I had
just
the
good old
Saturdays.
fashioned pop music. Oh, the Saturdays. Woo.
I had two of them in my car at one point. Well, no, it's at separate times, but they didn't last, did they? I mean,
No, they did not last. Once Molly had a kid, it was done. And I think one of them left. I think it was actually it wasn't Molly. I think it was the Irish bird that left. She ended up with like a rugby player. Why do I know these things? And she had a kid, and that was it. Yeah, they didn't last very long at all. Saturdays did. The longest lasting girl group it was Little Mix. They lasted just over a decade, which is insane because the average lifespan of a girl group is 2 years, and Spice Girls were no different. The Spice Girls phenomenon was 1996. Jerry left in 1998. By 1999, they were done. That's it. And every subsequent girl group since Girls Aloud, they outlasted them a bit as well. But again, a member left and all this kind of shit. And yeah, the average lifespan is 2 years.
what was the name of that girl group? They had one like Chinese looking girl, then a black girl and a white girl. It was three of them.
That would be um not Honeys. That was a different group because there was two black women and a
Sugar Babes.
and the Sugar Babes. So the Sugar Babes, I mean, they went through. So the original was, yeah,
They went through some changes because
the
one of the
Irish
band members.
girl, and then it was Mucha, and there was the black girl, and then they bullied the shit out of the Irish girl, so she left, and then they brought in the blonde one, and then after the blonde one of the other ones left. I think it was Mucha left, the Chinese looking one, and then they
Her
brought
brother
in
used to work with me.
something else, and then they changed. It's like it went through like a whole complete change from start to finish. It was just not the same group. Just
Yeah, the
ridiculous.
Sugar Babes, the Chinese looking one, she had an older brother, and yeah, he worked with me.
Yeah, because they were from that area.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think is she from Collindale? I can't remember now. But yeah, great first album and second album, Angels with Dirty Faces, brilliant fucking album as well. But yeah, they went through a massive change from where they started to where they were, and they just became too commercial, and it was just like ugh, rubbish. Yeah. Oh, the original, the original title to this bloody stream is "The Gas Prices Are Too High," and that's because I went and filled up my car with petrol today, and as soon as the war broke out, I literally went the next day and filled up my car because I knew prices were going to go up. So it's been a month. So my car's still got just over a quarter of a tank. But I thought I'll fill up now in case there's shortages and we start having like, supply issues and all this kind of stuff. I put in 40 quid today and 40 quid did not fill up my car. That's insane. Whereas I filled my car up, it was on empty, and I filled it up at 50 quid and 40 quid today, and it didn't fill it up. It's just these bloody, you know what I mean? I wish I'd got.
I wish I could. Yeah, like this is something I don't deal with, thank God. You know, I've been in your situation before, but there have been other fuel crises in the past,
Oh, there has,
and
yeah. I remember the one when everyone went on when the truckers went on strike.
yeah,
You had to queue for
but I've
petrol.
been driving an electric car for the last 5 years, and I am a bit worried though with Edison Lee. I've been hearing rumors they might be phasing out the ID4. Now that will take maybe a year or two until they do that. But if they end up phasing out the ID4 and they make us start driving petrol cars again, I might end up having to go to Uber. You know,
Why would they phase out electric cars?
because I think when you like what it is, the car I'm driving, the boot space is very minimal. I mean, look, this is just what I think. Well, before we were driving people carriers, we could have 7 people in there um,
Uh-huh.
at times, and obviously carry a lot more luggage and stuff like that. Personally, the idea of driving one of those fucking wide ass, large ass vehicles around London and having to squeeze through width restrictions and having to drive a diesel again, that makes me sound like I should be selling ice creams at the back of that fucking thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't want it. I'm 100% on electric cars, and if Addison Lee phases out electric cars and they don't do electric cars anymore, I'm gonna go to Uber.
I don't know why they would do that. It's so much cheaper for the cabbies to be electric, is it not?
It is, and then you got the ULEZ and all these other things as well. I look, it's whatever they feel they need to do. I can't. From my perspective, like my electricity bill, just the electricity bill, for 3 months. Remember, I do charge my car every day at home. It's about £360 for 3 months. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like a lot of money, but as far as I'm concerned, that's a mixture of the electricity I use in my home as well as my fuel for my car.
Yes.
Yeah,
If you
I
compare to
would
that would have been petrol.
if yeah, when I was driving, and I don't know what it would be like now, but this is prior to all the shit that's been going on. But it's 5 years ago, whatever, I was driving a Charan, a diesel, and I was spending £120 every week driving that. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
So £120 every week, or £360 every 3 months, including my electricity bill. There's no fucking difference.
It's no,
Sorry, sorry.
no, no, no,
There's
comparison.
no comparison. I meant to say,
Yeah.
I I'm much better off doing this. I don't feel like I have to struggle as much this way because I'm saving so much fucking money. You know, um, and so I just don't want Addison Lee to change back to their old ways. I'm really hoping that they don't, but we'll see. I'll keep driving the electric car and I'll stick with them until things change.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense for them.
I
Unless it is a
wasn't.
space issue, then have some cars that aren't electric then.
There is
Have
a
a
really
choice.
good. There's a really cool video on YouTube called 10 electric cars that you'll never see in America. Yeah. And I'm thinking a bit worried you might not see them in this country too. But one of them, because this is the thing how far technology's gone. Like my whole car from front to back is a big block of battery. Yeah. But there is an electric car out there where you can actually replace the battery of the car which powers your car. So you can go to a station and instead of having to charge your car, you just give them your battery and they put a new battery in.
Oh wow.
And that's instant, that's quicker than fucking filling up with fuel. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Swapping batteries. That's a game changer as far as I'm concerned. No need to fucking charge your car, just swap the battery. And it's like
Well,
a big
I'm
chunk of
still waiting
battery
for
gets swapped.
hydrogen. Like they were making waves with hydrogen, and then they kind of deliberately slowed that down because again, oil. And my fear to just basically tack on to what you were saying is because this government and every government gets so much money from oil and gas companies that they just they delay. Look, right now if you're a proper functioning government that cared about society moving, you would start investing in heavily into electric car infrastructure and researching hydrogen and all this, because we had hydrogen buses for a while as well, and it just never took off. But you would start invested heavily in that as a backup, give people grants to get electric cars, go to the house, help them like build like the plugs and all this kind of shit. That's what you would do if you're a functioning government. But we don't have a functioning government. So what they're doing literally nothing. We're going to get to the point where petrol stations are going to close, and we're going to end up with massive shortages. It's going to affect our grids as well. But this is also why Starmer came out and said, we don't want any part of this war, because the reason they're saying that is like, yeah, we want our tankers to get through Hormuz to come to us. So we're making sure that we're saying to the Iranians, hey, this war has nothing to do with us. Because we're a ticking time bomb. Like the Philippines are in crisis. A lot of countries are in crisis.
This is where I tip my hat to China, yeah, because them being a communist country, if you want to call them that, even though they're quite capitalistic.
Yeah.
But I tip my hat to them because they see the bigger picture, and you can see that with their infrastructure and stuff like that. They're investing in electric cars. They've got arguably the best electric car out in the moment in the BYDs. I've been in the BYD, by the way. I've sat in one. My God, it is gorgeous. It's fucking, that you want to find fucking, you want to find somewhere where you can put your fucking dick inside that car so you can shag it. It's just so amazing.
There's no exhaust, unfortunately, so you got to put it in your cup holder.
There's one moment. What I love about it is when the driver was in tight gaps, there'll be like an overhead camera that comes down, and it's the actual image of your car, but so they're somehow able to get an image where like it looks like there's the camera, like a camera above the car coming down, and it shows you the gap in between your car either side from a bird's eye view.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the actual view of your car. It's not like an image of what it might be. It's the actual image of your car, from a bird's eye view. I don't know how they do it. It's like somebody's got a selfie stick up there when there isn't.
Yeah, I mean they know, obviously they have image mapping of the car, and it's just projected onto that screen, and that's why it looks like it's your car.
No, but you can see when we was going, like the guy was driving in between a bus and another car, and that's the fucking bus on my left. The actual bus, I can see it on the image of and stuff like. And then also like there isn't like a traditional roof of a car. It's just all glass. It's all, and you can see right through it. You know what I mean? Having to be able to see the sky above your head is beautiful.
Yeah.
And like and they call it the Tesla killer for a reason, because it has some resemblances to Tesla, and Tesla, is a nice car as an exterior wise. It's not too bad, but interior it offers nothing. But
the
this car is
of them are abysmal as well.
Yeah,
they're awful.
But this car has got, for instance, one of the things Teslas don't have is they don't have anything in the cockpit view in front of you. So you should have your speedometer and stuff like that traditionally in front of you, but they don't. They have it on the screen. In the BYD, it's in front of you. In my car, it's in front of me. You know what I mean? That's where I want to see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you got the screen there for all manners of other shit. If you need it. And it's just a great car. It's really comfortable as well, spacious. The guy who the Uber driver whose car I was in, he is spending a lot of money though. He spends more than I do. I spend £245 a week on my car. This Uber driver is like spending like over £300 a week driving
on what? Just driving
BYD, a BYD. No, he spends over £300 a week renting the car.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and that's, I don't want to do that. As much as I like the BYD, I could actually join Uber and I could probably get a car for less than £200 a week, which would be cheaper than Addison Lee. But the good thing is Addison Lee, like, because I go through them for everything, they deal with everything. If there's an issue with my car, I would have to go to the third party and speak to them. not to Uber. Uber would have nothing to do with it. You know,
Yeah.
if my car broke down, I would have to go with I would have to like be with RAC or somebody. Whilst I could just call up Addison Lee and tell them my car's broken down, and then they'll send RAC to me. You know what I mean? Those are the differences.
Yeah, I mean, with Uber, you can't. You're just left on your own. You're left to suffer
Yeah.
on your own and do everything on your own. You get no protections, anything. So,
Like
yeah.
somebody hit me. I'm not sure I told you a few weeks ago. Somebody hit the back of my car.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
some dickhead in a smart car hit the back of my car. Yeah, and I then had to. But the following day, I got the car changed, and Addison Lee's dealing with all the insurance
That's the beauty of
stuff.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't my fault. I once I got and I got a new car straight away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got
There
a
you
new
go.
car straight away, which is basically the same as my old car. You
Yeah.
know?
But at least you don't have to deal with all the hubbub of it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Which is
That's the,
why I'm pissed off that Addison Lee could be phasing out the electric car because I don't want to. I'm happy sticking with Addison Lee. They're the better the devil I know at the moment. I don't want to change with them to Uber, but like I said, if they don't do electric cars anymore, then so be it. I know I will adapt. You know what I mean? That's not a problem.
yeah.
So, and Uber does want me. I remember when I went to Uber's offices and I told them I'm an Addison Lee driver, they wanted me to fucking start working with them straight away.
Yeah.
So,
Just looking at news here. What's the AI of? Addison Lee has not completely abandoned electric vehicles, but the company has significantly U-turned on its aggressive plan to be fully electric by 2023, moving instead towards a more balanced, pragmatic approach, including EVs and hybrids and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, let's.
well, if that's the case, then I'll be happy to be part of the EV range. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. Hopefully they've just balanced and then just leave it to the drivers to decide. Maybe it is just a question of like for larger vehicles, they might want to use the diesel ones.
Well, there are many a driver who doesn't like driving EVs simply because it's not practical for them. I'm lucky. I have a
Okay.
driveway. I'm able to park my car at home and charge it.
Yeah.
Many drivers don't have that luxury. So when I tell, and they end up spending, because charging on the street's expensive. I know. I've had to do it myself. It's not cheap. You know.
Yeah.
So and obviously it's time consuming as well. Do you want to waste half an hour, 40 minutes every fucking day having to go to a charging station before going home? Like it's a headache for a lot of drivers. I could totally understand why they want to go back to fuel. So I do get it. Electric cars is not for everybody.
Yeah. It's only for people like you who have a driveway, have the convenience to access it. Because trying to do it, and if you do it, you've got the wire coming out of your house as well. That fucking takes longer if you don't have like a specialized charger to do it as well. So yeah, it can be a pain in
Yeah,
the ass.
my
But they
brother
should have.
drives an electric car. He charges at my house all the time.
You
And
who?
when I go, my brother, he has an
Yeah.
electric car. And when I go up to his house, I charge my car at his house. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
So
So,
yeah. Cool. All right then. Well, I think we'll end it there.
no, I
Probably.
want to quickly mention a
Oh,
couple
go
of
for it.
things.
Sorry, God.
I want to do a bit of TikTok treasures, by the way.
Oh, all right. Okay.
But I want to quickly mention something that
Yeah, that's
have you
fine.
noticed in the Trump admin or whatever cabinet that Kirsty Noem has been fired, Pam Bondi's been fired, Tulsi Gabbard is likely to be fired, and possibly even KKK Levitt as well. Now, what do four of these people have in common?
They're chicks.
Yeah, exactly. He had no problem firing women, Donald Trump, but
Well,
I
no, he
expect
finds.
nothing.
I think people are paying too much attention to that. It just depends on the position of the person because he got rid of Mike Johnson. You know what I mean?
Has he?
Yeah, Mike Johnson's gone.
Who's the Speaker of the House?
I have no idea. Oh, wait, did he? Yeah, I'm sure. Or is he stepping down? Hang on. I might be wrong there. 1 second.
That's a big deal, man. I'm sure I would have noticed that.
Yeah. Oh no, he's still the speaker. But didn't he say Republicans delay an end to DHS shutdown? Oh, where did I hear that? Oh, got my wires mixed up. I do apologize. But like I remember from like the previous administration of his, he was firing everyone. He didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? But I mean, could be a coincidence, but could not be. You never know. Maybe because they don't want to shag him. You know what I mean? Maybe they don't want to shag him, so it's just a question of all right, get rid of these people. But don't forget, you know, this time round you also have the Project 2025 people, and they don't like women doing anything other than staying at home. So that could be a factor.
It's funny though, but at the same time, all of these motherfuckers still need conservative women to sell their shit.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of conservative women out there, you know, who still want to be influencers and whatever, and sell their ideology.
Yeah.
Regardless. But anyway, on to the
Sam's TikTok treasure.
That looks nothing like me, man. You really need to do another one.
Yeah, if I can be asked, I will. I'm just gonna open my door because I'm hot. Don't start anything yet. 1 second.
Oh, don't worry.
Oh, God. Oh, this fucking light. Stay still. Clamp on this is rubbish. Oh, it's hot in here. I'm gonna open my window. There we go. All right, back.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with Keir Starmer. Now, obviously, he's neither of us favorite, but this was a good moment for him.
And whilst we were there at IKEA, they showed me their new prototype, the IKEA Shadow Cabinet. The trouble is, nobody wants to buy it. It's mainly constructed of old dead wood. And every time you lose a nut, it defects to reform. And whilst we were...
I don't even know if that was true, though. It looked like it. I did it. Was that his voice? Play that again.
No, that's him. Oh, sorry. That's
one. We're there at IKEA. They showed me their new prototype, the IKEA Shadow Cabinet. The trouble is, nobody wants to buy it. Oh, yeah. It's mainly constructed of old dead wood. And every time you lose a nut, it defects to reform.
Oh no! You know you can't be making fun of white supremacists like that, Mr. Starmer. Okay, here we go.
What scares you?
What scares me most?
Yeah,
the level of profound science illiteracy.
Damn right.
In people who have control over laws and legislation of the land. That scares me the most, because that is a recipe for the unraveling of an informed democracy. And if that permeates around the world, it could dismantle civilization. And I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that, because the methods and tools of science are the way, it's the best way we've ever come up with as humans to establish what is objectively true in the world. And while you're establishing what is objectively true, you also end up establishing what is objectively false. If people have different belief systems, that's fine in a country that protects that. But if you have a belief system that I don't have, and you rise to power over laws and create a law based on your belief system, that is a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for the ending of the American system of governance.
This guy needs to be, I don't want to necessarily say President of the United States, but he needs to be involved in politics and be in a cabinet position where he can use his influence to direct the country in the right way, if you know what I mean. Celebrity is a big deal in America, and if you can have a celebrity in politics, I wanted to be Neil deGrasse Tyson. You still there, Ginge?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Conan O'Brien at the Oscars.
First time since 2012
that there are no British actors nominated for Best Actor or Best Actress. Yeah. British spokesperson said, yeah, well, at least we arrest our pedophiles. So, first time since 2012 that there are no British actors.
Brilliant.
Okay, here we go.
This clip perfectly articulates the American healthcare system in this Republican dystopian nightmare.
Death is very bad when you're the speaker and you have a majority. We had one man who was very ill. It looked like he wasn't going to make it. I don't know. I won't mention his name. Should I? Do other people know his name? Tell him the story.
Okay, well, Congressman Neil Dunn of Florida had some real health challenges, and it was very serious, and had a pretty grim diagnosis.
What was the diagnosis?
It was, I think it was a terminal diagnosis.
He would be dead by June.
Okay, that wasn't public, but yeah, okay, that's...
With a heart problem, by the way. This was a heart problem. He actually called Mike. Mike called me and he said, sir, we're up by 3, but we're going to lose 1 by June. Really bad heart. There's nothing they can do. I said, that's bad. I realized I have doctors in the White House, and they immediately went over to see the congressman. He was on the operating table like 2 hours later. They gave him more stents and more everything that you can...
Okay, I'm going to cut it there because what this basically is more about, it's not just about him revealing the personal details of a particular congressman, but how badly he needs this congressman. Because, you know, when it comes to winning the Senate race, which he won't win, this guy is a representative of the Republicans. But if he's ill or dies, that's it. Seat is open, you know, and this is what Trump cares about.
Yeah.
And he's obviously at the same time, just talking about the guy's personal shit when he shouldn't, because that's the sort of person Trump is.
Yeah.
Every American needs to watch this clip.
Our interest, I think, very much is in not going to war with Iran.
They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars.
A war with Iran would make the war in Iraq look like a cakewalk.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective.
I've been a recovering neocon for 6 years now. Like the foolishness with which we ricocheted around the world, intervening, think it was in our best interest, when really we just overturned the table and created something worse.
You're not going to have a war with me, and you're not going to have a third world war with me. That I can tell you.
A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for a man who wants to end wars, not start them.
I was the first president in decades who started no new wars. We don't need the wars. Foreign lands, countries you've never heard of, countries that don't even want us there.
President Trump, as he says all the time, and as a lot of people recognize, is a president of peace. We want to have good relationships with everybody.
I am the candidate of peace. I am peace.
President Trump is the peace president.
We've spent $8 trillion in the Middle East, and we're not fixing our roads in this country? How stupid is it?
We've got to stop Donald Trump from starting a war with Iran.
We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
I certainly empathize with Americans who are exhausted after 25 years of foreign entanglements in the Middle East. I understand the concern, but the difference is that back then we had dumb presidents, and now we have a president who actually knows how to accomplish America's national security objectives.
Every American needs to watch.
He looks like you know what? JD Vance in that last clip looked like a fucking Thunderbird puppet.
Oh
anyway,
my god, that was hilarious.
This is scary though.
I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation.
Spoken like a true rapist. I mean,
the thing is, the difference. The only reason he's going to war, the only reason Iran and Israel are doing all this crazy shit is because both of them are under investigation. You know, Trump's in the Epstein files, and the total escalation of Israel in the last few years is because Bibi Netanyahu is under investigation for fraud and corruption. And so the longer he's at war, the longer he can avoid
stay in power.
So the quicker they kill him off, the better.
Anyway, check this out. There's some AI bullshit here.
Teeing
Sean! We're going to war, soldier!
Well, you are, not me.
It's time to get boots on the ground!
It's Jeffrey's War. Are you a pathetic gooner looking for love?
Aren't we all? Well, we've got plenty of ladies.
And they're just waiting for liberation.
All you have to do is beat our challenge.
It's time to roll the die on your lives!
Let's see what these boys won. It's crippling PTSD and higher gas prices.
A brand new luxury casket!
You answered C, and you are correct. Do you have what it takes to play with Jeff Perez?
We want you to play Jeffrey's War. Get your local TV listings.
Team Sean!
Guys, it's crazy how far AI has come. I know that wasn't perfect, but still, you know.
But we're asking people to go online, go to the website that we're launching this morning, www.nigelcutmybills.com. And if you give us your details on that website, in the next week or two, we're going to draw one of those names. And Nigel is going to come to your house, and he's going to pay your energy bills and those of everyone who live on your street for an entire year. Go to our website, enter our draw, spread the word, pass it to your friends and your neighbors. But we're asking...
So this is not how politics is supposed to run, by the way.
No, this is the same shit Elon Musk did. You know,
Yeah, I know.
getting people to
Buying
go
votes.
register to vote Republican. And this is also, like, this is under investigation now because this is bribery. And secondly, all it is, you go onto that website, you register with that website. Who owns that website? Where does the data go that you register? Your information will be passed on to third parties and they'll know who you vote for. Like, it's that kind of crazy shit. So that's how they profit from that. They profit by being able to sell your data.
Yep.
If you do it, you're a fucking idiot.
Japanese Prime Minister paid Trump a visit, by the way.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump was just asked why he didn't tell America's allies about the war in Iran before the strikes began. Sitting next to the Japanese Prime Minister, his answer, well, why didn't Japan tell us about Pearl Harbor before it happened? I'm not making this up. Watch this.
I remember I've seen this.
Hey, just look at the Japanese Prime Minister, though.
Yeah, well, fuck her anyway. She's another far-right twat. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Japan.
Okay, this is...
Sorry, I just want to say Japan is one of those countries where I have zero sympathies for what happened to them, because they're fucking animals during the Second World War, like absolute fucking animals. And now people are like, we shouldn't have dropped the bomb. I'm like, when you look at the cruelty that they did, dropping the bomb, of course, it was an experiment to see if it would work, but it was it was the least they deserved because their war crimes were so bad that the Nazis were like, whoa, calm down. That's how bad they were.
More reform.
In today's episode of The Reform Party is Trying to Kill Us All, we have James Orr, their head of policy. And in this week's episode of Question Time, he made it perfectly clear that the Reform Party is still committed to making us all pay for our health care.
Maybe we should be thinking about different structures to the NHS.
And while yes, right now we all already pay for the NHS through the taxes that we pay, what Nigel Farage wants is for the quality of healthcare that each person gets to be determined by the quality of health insurance that each person can afford.
And I think we're going to have to move to an insurance-based system of healthcare. Frankly, I would feel more comfortable that my money would return value if I was able to do that through the marketplace of an insurance company.
He's explicitly talking about his ability as a multi-millionaire.
This is a long video, but I'm going to stop it there. But it's basically, look, if you vote for reform, say goodbye to the NHS.
Yeah. And the thing is,
yeah.
Sorry, the thing is, and people need to understand that we do have private health insurance here. You can do private healthcare here. And already, regardless of the NHS, we already have nightmare stories of people trying to deal with like Bupa and all these insurance companies. So I know people in my own life, my mother's friend, who is a multi-millionaire, she had so many problems with her private insurance company because they kept blocking her treatments, denying her this, denying her that. In the UK, that she just said, fuck this, cancelled her insurance, just went with the NHS and found that the waiting time was the same, but there was no red tape in getting treatment. So we already have all the red tape and the bullshit that the Americans have to deal with. And now they want to nationalize that, like make it for everyone. No fucking thank you.
A lot of these incel fucking Johnny come latelys, they obviously don't know much about the NHS, but one of the things they happen to be is stoners. And if you just tell them the Green Party wants to legalize weed, hopefully that will make them fucking vote green. Anyway, I forgot what this girl's all about. Let's check it out.
3 things you should not be doing as a grown-ass man.
I had to hear it. So do y'all. Viewer discretion is advised.
Number 1, dancing to music.
You can't dance to music, Ginge.
Oh, damn it. That's me done for.
I don't know what to do anymore. This has to be rage bait, but just in case it's not, let's move forward. Shorty said dancing to music. That is something a grown man should not be doing. I'll be honest with you. I wanted to end the video right here, right? It was like, there's no way I'm going to listen to the rest of this. But yeah, I got to hear the rest of this bullshit.
Why are you doing that? Go file your taxes or work out. Lock in. Number 2, being blonde in any form, natural or
saying the
naturally blonde. If you're dyeing your hair, you're not even a man.
Nah,
so
this is, gotta be,
yeah,
I think this
being
is just
blonde, that's for
fake.
girls.
What's the name of her TikTok?
She said being blonde
I don't know, because it's
in any
dude,
form, even if it's natural. And then turned around and said, if you dye your hair, you're just not a man. So what the fuck are men that are born with blonde hair supposed to fucking do? They can't dye their hair. But they're also, according to you, can't have blonde hair. What? You know what? Let's continue.
Number 3, eating anything with a spoon.
I'm 100% sure
Eating,
she ate to spend
we're moving on.
day in the same
Nah,
from high school.
it's bollocks. Yeah, it's sarcasm.
Introducing the incredible Finger Magician.
AI.
Swap the hands, add more fingers, and unlock endless magic. 7 fingers, 8 fingers, more magic. Finger Magician from Mocking Eye, available now at toy stores everywhere.
Now, I know you said that he's probably dead, but I think he might be alive.
He's not dead.
Now.
Unfortunately, he's not dead. He's come out.
I'm going to skip this one.
Remember
Oh, by the way, this is a good one. Check this out.
Oh, no, I've seen this one. Sir. Too many times. I don't want to see it again.
All right, fine. Okay, this is funny. About this one. This is good.
Bro, I have a mansion. I have.
Remember, this is one of the Island Boy twins.
Yeah,
they were famous for making out with each other.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
That's rented on Airbnb.
I have a nice.
Okay.
I have a nice car.
I'm so proud of you.
Okay.
Good job.
And you're broke as.
Okay, yes. Did kissing your brother get you the mansion?
Girl, to be honest, you need to dye your hair black
Okay.
because you look
Black?
Yes, because you look emo.
Okay, now I'm emo.
Yeah, not
I'm emo because you kissed your brother.
Your teeth are yellow.
Okay, that's fine. I can get them fixed.
gorgeous.
But you can't unkiss your brother.
Okay. Bro, why am I talking to this stupid?
Because you kept talking. I kept responding.
Girl, I'm better than you.
You're not. You're my height.
My status is better than you.
Says who?
Okay.
You're famous for what? You get clowned on the internet for fun. Good
okay.
job. You're famous for getting laughed at.
What do you want to be?
Sienna, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I don't know. But when I grow up, I don't want to make out with my brother, and I want to keep my husband. I don't want to have 3 baby mamas.
Watch, now she gets stuck.
I didn't get stuck. I just
What car do you drive?
Why does it matter what car I drive? I'm a woman. You're a man. So why are you bag checking me? Can you not compete with a man? Do you feel like insecure competing with men?
No, to be honest with you,
Okay.
I do this.
Okay, good.
Girl, I have a mansion. I have a
That's
nice
rented
car.
on your.
There's a better clip than
What I
this.
mean, just absolute brain dead. Just brain dead. Just this
Doesn't
is why
matter
America
if our
needed
president
attention.
was a pedophile.
By
Say
the way,
what now?
Check this out.
Doesn't matter if our president was a pedophile.
Say what now?
Because he's the president now.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to expand on that because I feel I feel like that makes it matter more
It's not like he's going to stop being the president tomorrow if some Epstein file says that he was a pedophile.
And that says a lot. I'm still not certain what point you're making, though.
Right? There's going to be there's going to be a legal debate. There's going to be an impeachment trial. There's going to be who knows what's going to happen, but it's not going to change things tomorrow.
I don't think will this solve things by tomorrow is a good barometer for why we should do things. It might change things next week or a month from now or 6 months from now. All of those things are better than just never.
And let's not forget that our president has already been convicted in a court in New York.
Did we forget that? I feel like that's something a lot of us have been shouting about for a long time. And if people have listened,
just the fact that this guy is totally cool with Trump being a nonce.
All these, all these TikToks just reinforce my absolute hatred of Americans and why it kills me that they have become a cultural powerhouse. Forget the corporate powerhouse, the cultural powerhouse. Like there's a term that we're using over here called the Yankification of British culture. And that to me bothers me more than any Islamist crap, than any other kind of other culture stuff. It's the Yankification, because it just essentially just means dumb, brain-dead consumer that just parrots the same buzzwords and talking points and all this, the woke entering our lexicon, like the looks maxing, all this kind of dumb shit that's entering our lexicon. It kills me. I hate it. I hate it with a passion.
There's a handful of TikToks left. I'm obviously skipping Drewski, but we've all seen that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I don't live in a country with universal health care, because I heard that their wait times are outrageous and no one can get care. Anyway, my autonomic nervous system test just came back as abnormal, so I need to schedule a follow-up appointment to go over those test results, and the soonest that they could get me in is March of 2027, so next year. But don't worry, I'll be paying for it. I'm so glad I don't live in a country with universal health care, because I heard that.
This is why I'll never understand Americans regarding that shit, you know. Anyway.
Oh my God, did you hear Charlie Kirk passed away? He's actually gone. I am so sorry to hear that. I don't know who he is. Is he a family member of yours, or a politician, or a military service member, or a first responder? No, but he's a hero. Just look him up and then you're going to see what he's about. Again, I am so sorry. Let me look him up.
You're comparing abortion to the Holocaust.
Absolutely I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
I can't stand the word empathy. Actually, I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that it does a lot of damage. But it's so materially insane to think that 1 in 5 American women will be raped in their life.
It is. I agree.
No, meaning that they're lying about being raped, that they're lying about being sexually assaulted. I'm like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. They want to replace white Anglo-Saxon Christian Protestants with Mexican Nicaraguans, with El Salvadorians. Native-born Americans, you better buy weapons, everybody. Have a lot of guns at your disposal. I would never leave your home without a weapon. No, I think it's Hondurans, Mexicans, Nicaraguans, El Salvadorians, Panamanians, Venezuelans, Chileans, they should all go home. Oh, really?
Are you trying to say that blacks thrive under subjugation?
No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm asking you the question. The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes. And yet black America is poorer, more murderous, more dangerous.
So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped, and she was going to give birth and she would, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live, would you want her to go through that and carry her rapist baby?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered. George Floyd, that was overdosing on drugs, right?
I guarantee you that wouldn't happen.
George Floyd was actually in the police manual training. It was completely justified and was trained by his superiors to do.
Oh my God, did you hear Charlie Kirk passed away?
So the people that get the most abortions vote Republican.
I also want to add that a 10-year-old is a tiny child, and for them to give birth to a child is probably impossible to do it the natural way. It would kill them. You know what I mean? The baby itself is about the size of I can't. It's hard to even fathom.
It does happen. It
Yeah.
can happen. I mean, I don't know if it would be through a cesarean. It wouldn't necessarily kill them because it sadly has happened quite often.
Yeah.
You see it like like the youngest mother in this country was 11 when she had her kid. When she was 10 when she got pregnant. I remember that. God, that was so long ago now that kid, that little baby that she gave birth to is probably like 20 something now.
You ever seen the Necessary Conversation where you got this brother and sister who talk to their parents? And,
the MAGA parents.
Yeah, well, this is the parody of that. This guy's very
Mom, do you think that we should try to stop the asteroid from hitting Earth?
I don't think there's anything coming for us. But we've seen it coming for us, and several fragments have hit the planet already. Now, we don't know that.
Mom, we do. We've had debris hit the Earth already and have calculated a massive asteroid the size of Texas heading toward us.
We need to do something about it.
Oh, yeah, and who the hell's gonna pay for it?
Who cares who pays for it?
Exactly, a bunch of communist dummies wasting tax dollars on bullshit.
So what do we do? Nothing at all?
I don't want a dime of my money being spent on this liberal space mission. It's bullshit.
Dad, the world is about to end in 2 weeks if we don't do anything.
Bullshit.
I really don't understand why you're against them funding a rescue mission for the planet.
And what? Have a bunch of woke spacemen drilling into a rock?
You liked drilling before, but not when it's to save the planet?
There's no asteroid, and Harry Stamper's a damn idiot.
Oh, okay, let's calm down, be respectful.
The man is literally willing to risk his life to save the planet. I mean, Mom, what do you make of this?
I think Harry is probably a very nice gentleman, but I just don't like it. I don't think we should go there. We should worry about our own country.
Dad?
I'm going to the bathroom.
Mom, do you think that we should try to stop the...
Oh, brilliant.
4 more.
I never said repeal and replace Obamacare. You've all heard my speeches. I never said repeal it and replace it within 64 days.
We will be able to immediately repeal and replace Obamacare. Have to do it because Obamacare has to be replaced. And we will do it, and we will do it very
in the moment.
Sorry?
He doesn't remember.
Sorry?
I've
Say
said
again?
he never remembers what he says because he just
Mate,
he's
it's a right wing thing, dude. They never fucking. They all. It's not just 10. They're all fucking like this.
very quickly.
My first day in office, I'm going to ask Congress to put a bill on my desk getting rid of this disastrous law, and it's going to be so easy. I have a long time.
When he's campaigning, he'll offer you the fucking earth, and when he's in the fucking office, he'll want to destroy the earth.
Yeah.
How many of you are satisfied? You can clap. Satisfied with the results of the Epstein investigation? Clap. Okay, I told you to clap. You guys aren't listening. I'm not going to grade you on a curve. So I was going to get to that. How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation?
How many of you would like to see impeachment hearings? No. That was the wrong answer. Let me try it again. How many of you would like to see impeachment hearings? No. Can someone bring some coffee out for the...
I know.
We've got to keep this House majority. How many of you agree with that?
I think they're going to get destroyed in the midterms. I get the vibe. A lot of people
Okay, regarding the midterms, if Trump doesn't rig it, then yeah, the Republicans will get destroyed.
I think gasoline.
Maybe, but to a degree. I mean, the problem with the Democrats is they do fuck all. You know, they just sit back and let the Republicans fuck themselves over and destroy themselves, but they never offer an alternative other than we're not as bad as them.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's it. We'll make
It's going to be below $2 at some point in the pretty near future. It's very low. So when I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one. No more wars, no more disruptions. We will have prosperity and we will have peace. Jobs and factories will come roaring back into our country, and you see it happening already. I think gasoline is going to be below $2 at some point in the pretty near future.
Start again. There you go. The liar in chief.
I just want
And
to say,
finally- yeah.
when he says gas will be under $2, I want people to understand that aren't American. That's a gallon. I fucking wish we were somewhere near even $4 a gallon. I'll be happy with here in the UK. Not fucking $2 plus for a liter.
I agree. They got it much cheaper in the States than we have.
Yeah.
Anyway, finally, let's end with this funny joke.
Sir, you voted for President Trump. What are you hoping to see from a second Trump administration?
Well, I'm a working class guy with 3 kids, so it's pretty simple. I hope he attacks Iran without any particular goal in mind and sends gas prices through the roof. And I want to be specific here. I don't want him to know why he's starting a war or when it'll end, but I do want it to cost $82 to fill up my Kia Sorento.
Sir, you voted for President Trump. What are you?
That laugh was a bit annoying, but I just thought that was a funny TikTok.
That was brilliant. No, that was good. But that laugh, you don't need to put that. Stop treating audiences like they're fucking kids. But
exactly.
those were good ones. Those were good ones. Well done, mate. That was
and that's my
Sam's TikTok treasure.
I hate it, man.
it.
Oh god. Yeah. So anyway, I'm done. You can wrap this show up.
Yeah, it's cool. I just want to say one thing. I was just watching before I went to do World's Got Center. I was watching your guys' reaction video of Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, reading the comments, and
we saw some of your comments in there.
Yeah, I didn't get to that bit. I stopped as just Cheeto. I love you to bits, but you can't fucking read, dude. You can't read. Like everyone else is like flowing through, all right. I mean, he just, I don't know, is he dyslexic and he doesn't know? But it was good fun what I've seen so far. I'm gonna finish off watching the rest. If you haven't, the Star Trek being cancelled video blew up, by our standards anyway, and it's great. The amount of people that are triggered by it, it's beautiful. Jefferson got on beautiful rants, which I'm glad you picked.
Actually, I got a response because we did a video, obviously, on the comments, yeah, and we did get one response, and this guy, this is the irony, is just totally lost on this dude. You're very rude, making personal comments about incels, etc. I think most of your commenters were unhappy with our Academy series. No, like obviously he didn't pick up on that. He's wrong about that. Not you personally. Amazing double standards on your part, but at the end of the day, it didn't get viewers, and it's only TV. But he's upset that we were calling them incels while we get fucking all manners of shit thrown at us. But let's be very straight up with you, with them. They are incels. They are the sort of person to invest into Hustlers University. You know what I mean? They're the people who go Matrix and Red Pill and all of that shit, which is why yesterday I called myself the blue pill wokester. Because I was mocking these motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally the people that are coming to watch videos on Starfleet Academy is not people that watch Starfleet Academy and Star Trek. It's the people that watch the anti-woke stuff, the Red Pill Brigade, the racist, bigoted, misogynistic idiot that toxify everything on the internet. They're the ones that are coming to watch your video because that's what they want to do. They want to lap it up so they can just, laugh, fire off comments and all this kind of shit. And to them, I say thank you, because for us, it's great. It gets the channel out there. Negative, positive, makes no difference.
They go on about
themselves as some kind of legitimate critic. Now, look, I side with them in that Starfleet Academy. It looked shit. I don't like anything in the Kurtzman era. But I'm not a diehard Star Trek fan, so my opinion is not that relevant. Whereas these guys are diehard Star Trek fans, and they can weigh in on it without their prejudices of having the kind of anti-woke default position. And if they happen to enjoy Starfleet Academy for what it was, they enjoyed it. To be so toxic about the fact that they enjoyed it, it's just hilarious to me. It's like, are you that invested in upkeeping your position where no matter what people enjoy, you can't let them enjoy it? You want to shit on them. Like, I always say to Angry Joe, like with Angry Joe stuff, I always say, okay, he's not the metric to take serious as a critic for certain things, because there are certain biases, there are certain fanboy-isms where he gatekeeps a lot and all of that. So for gatekeepers, I don't take them serious in their critique. But for other people like this group who aren't gatekeepers, they're just like, hey, look, I like this. You didn't like it. That's on you. Then you're just being silly. You're just being toxic for the sake of it. And we can't take you seriously, but we love the comments because they're hilarious to read. Block, welcome to the stream.
Welcome, Block.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Fine, thanks. I just need to quickly add that what annoyed me is that they're constantly going on about agendas and stuff like that, and how it's being preachy. Now, if you watch Star Trek, the original series, and if you watch TNG, consistently, Kirk and Picard are being preachy as fuck about what the future is and what they're and how woke things are to a degree, but they don't pick up on that shit. And another thing regarding preachy, their idea of being preachy is seeing a gay couple. A gay couple's on my screen, that's being preachy, and they can't handle that shit. They don't want that shit to be normalized. So, but if it is normalized, and in the future that should be normalized, for them is preachy. I mean, oh, a Klingon. Klingons are supposed to be all fucking warriors and hardcore and stuff like that. And now we got one having a relationship with a human. Well, that has been done before in a heterosexual way. So why not in a homosexual way? It's not an issue. They're so used to seeing gorgeous women in every season. In season 1, Nichelle Nicholas was beautiful, especially when she was in a Terran outfit. And obviously, you had a couple of gorgeous women in TNG, and most notably in Voyager as well, and T'Pol in Enterprise. They were all lookers, even though they were great actresses. Now, the standard for women doesn't have to be gorgeous. I thought Sonique, the Michael Burnham character, was a beautiful woman anyway. But regardless, they weren't just picking women who were fucking swimsuit models. They were just taking anyone who was a good actress, and the fandom lost their shit for that. But there was nothing for them to wank over. That for them is being preachy, and that's being woke. If you've got nothing for me to wank over, then it's woke.
Yeah. Block, anything to add to that before I come back to that?
I was just gonna say, I don't follow Trek, that much, but I was actually kind of surprised. I thought the Star Wars fans were the more toxic and vocal about all this, what they want to call culture war stuff. And yeah, I don't care. Sci-fi to me is an escapism, so I don't view it through any kind of political lens or anything. Just enjoy it, or don't enjoy it. Watch it or don't watch it, but don't be all you're going to go after people because they like something you don't.
Yeah. I mean, so what I want to bring into this conversation is essentially the reason they are focusing on this is because of the change in the political landscape that makes you focus on anything that's to do with progress. Because as things get increasingly worse, they need the boogeyman, and the boogeyman is literally anything. So woke covered the whole spectrum of anything, if it's multicultural, if it's gay, if it's trans, and all of that. Before that, things trudged along nicely. And then the financial crisis hit in 2008, and things got exponentially worse. And then again, I blame Americans for this, the rise of the SJWs that were akin to the what I call the secular Taliban, because they were as bad as the Christians were in terms of policing art. And as a result, the right wing latched onto that, as I predicted they would, and they weaponized it, and it created a wonderful boogeyman for them to distract people from. And the best way to point this out is to say, before the Republicans made trans an issue, nobody thought about trans people. Nobody cared. It wasn't an issue. People moved along. The minute the Republicans made it an issue and something to focus on, here in the UK in particular, they have stripped away trans people's rights. Before that, before they were told what to hate, nobody focused on it. Now they do. And that's what annoys me, is that these idiots, they have no real conviction. They're just told what to like, told what to hate. And because their material well-being hasn't improved, it's gotten worse, they can't understand why. And so they focus on, they think that all the stuff that their heroes are telling them to hate are the reason for their miserable existence. And this is why you can't enjoy a simple thing like a fucking TV show without these arseholes latching on and being arseholes about it. And it's ruined everything, because what you then end up with, you end up with garbage like She-Hulk, which was a direct attack on trolls on Twitter. And so you get into this back and forth.
Acolytes
suffered
as well.
massively as a result. You know,
Acolyte was also the same as well.
Acolyte, all these, yeah, it was a direct response to bots. And these are fucking bots. Like the majority of people you're arguing with on the internet are bots. If somebody comments, reply with, "You are a bot," you probably won't get a reply back, because they're a bot. They've moved on. They don't see the notification. They're gone. That's why I say to people, don't bother arguing too much with people. Have fun with it, because it's a bot. Especially Twitter. 90% of Twitter is bots. So yeah.
Yeah, and with what you're talking about, it's not just, you know, TV shows, movies, it's like everything, video games, it's like anything that's not work, and even the workplace sometimes. But yeah, it's anything in the outside world they'll latch onto, and it's woke. They gotta attack it. If they don't like it, it shouldn't be around. It's gotta be attacked.
Yeah.
If a woman in a video game hasn't got the biggest fucking tits and like, you know, and her ass hanging out and all that, and just being totally sexualized, then it's woke. And they made that joke as well. I seen that meme joke where you see a male character and then a male character's armor, and then you see a female character and the female character's armor, and just maybe a couple of metal things around her nipples and maybe something over her vag, and that's it. You know, that's a woman's armor. You know, and the rest of her body's totally exposed. You know, and it's just so fucking stupid.
But the thing. And
one more thing I was gonna say real quick.
No, go for it.
Sorry. But yeah, kind of on that, when you take you know, past video games like Lara Croft or, you know, Aliens with Sigourney Weaver, back, like, that would be considered woke now, but back then that was just kind of cool. You know, it was different. It was like they didn't make an issue of it now or back then, but they make an issue now.
That's what
Lara
I mean.
Croft would be 100% woke, especially what they've done
Lara
with her
Croft,
now.
you fucking savages, the pair of you.
Whatever. Yeah, the point is, especially what they've done with her now, because she would be just wearing a tight t-shirt and fucking hot pants and running around fucking, you know, tomb raiding. Now she's a young lady who still looks who's still beautiful, but she's not walking around like she fucking should be on you know, at fucking Hooters or anything like that. You know, she's dressed more modestly, you know, and so you know, they have changed things. And regarding Aliens, I've said this before and I'll say this again. Aliens is woke as fuck, yeah, because the main character obviously is a woman. She knows everything. She's the smartest person there. The corporate guy is fucking evil and dumb and stupid. All the fucking soldiers are fucking stupid, except for the one soldier who happens to be the most masculine and is a woman in Vasquez. Yeah, and the other soldier who's not also stupid is the simp in fucking in Hicks, or you know, and everyone else is a fucking idiot. They all fucking get killed, you know, and then the last person to survive is are the two women and the fucking and the male robot, you know, who's obedient and all of that shit. And yeah, it's 100% woke. Even the first Alien is woke. All the men are fucking stupid. You know, in that, you know, the main guy Dallas, he gets killed halfway through the film. The only person who's smart and intelligent is Ripley, and the last three characters in the film to survive were 2 women and a black guy. Woke.
Yeah, woke. Oh my god, terrible. Yeah. I mean, that's the issue. Is like you just can't enjoy something without hyper focusing. The good thing I like about Aliens is although most of them are shit, they've stuck with that format. You know, female protagonist is always like front and center, which it's to its detriment because it's literally copy and paste. But the fact that they're stuck with that, they stick to the guns, even with Aliens Earth, which I absolutely loved. Again, female front and center. And it's good. It's just to say, hey, this is what this is. Fuck you, deal with it, kind of thing. You know. Yeah. If you have an issue with it, tough. If it ends up being crap, that's where the issues lie. Because if it's good, people kind of suddenly remember to forget about the woke stuff. That's why they weren't talking a lot about Aliens Earth or even
but it was not an issue back. But regarding Alien and Alien and stuff like that, there was no issue. There was no political agendas and stuff like that where people could pick this shit apart because, you know, if that film came out today, it would be considered woke. Terminator 2 is another one. You know, if that came out today, you know, there's fucking Sarah Connor, who was like this dumb waitress who didn't know shit. 10 years later, she's fucking G.I. Jane. You know what I mean? You know, and with fucking muscles as big as Arnie and able to kick ass and shit like that. Where the fuck did that come from? And you remember she had a child in between all of that as well. So, like, you know, how did all that fucking shit happen? But it did. You know, but it's still a great movie. It's a great fucking film. These woke films are so fucking good. X-Men is woke. Invincibles is woke. The Boys is woke. These are all woke shows. People don't realize, you know. I mean, they're so good. You look past it
because their authors are fucking well. Like Garth Ennis. I mean, Garth Ennis, who wrote The Boys. That guy's like, you know, I think he's a socialist as well, and you can tell in his kind of writing. I don't know about the guy that wrote Invincible. I never really read the comic. I read The Boys. That was a fucking brilliant comic. But X-Men, The Birth of X-Men. I mean, Stan Lee is as woke as you get. He was woke before woke was even a thing. He pushed for it. You can criticize Stan Lee on a lot of things.
And stuff,
You know, stole ideas, never gave the right people credit, and all this kind of shit. I mean, X-Men in and of itself was just basically a ripoff of Doom Patrol. But it's the angle that they took with it, in that the 2 main characters are like a conflict between, you know, it's Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And they, you know, Stan Lee wanted to put them as black, but you just couldn't do it back then. You know, I mean, the hell that broke loose because of Black Panther. But Stan Lee was like, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway, kind of thing. So...
By the way, when the Phantom Menace, remember them?
Yeah.
You know, when they were in their pomp because they were complaining about everything, Brie Larson, all of that shit. But then they made Black Panther, and it was a bit difficult for them to complain to a degree because we are talking about an African superhero from Africa. Yeah, so you are going to have lots of black people in it, you know, because it makes fucking sense. Is, you know, and all of that shit. And some of these motherfuckers refuse to watch it because how are you going to criticize a
because
film
they couldn't
like
make
that?
money off of it. That's what they couldn't monetize it, so they didn't watch it.
I mean, but it can still be. The funny thing is, you know, they can still criticize the film and not have to go down the woke route because it isn't woke. It's a film of fucking. It's a black superhero set in Africa. Of course, it's gonna, you know, have black characters in it. It'll make sense if they're all fucking white people. Yeah, they'll probably be happy about that, but it wouldn't make sense, and then it'll be like reverse wokeness or whatever, however you want to fucking call it, you know, to appease white people by having loads of white people in it. Ironically, though, the best characters in Black Panther were the 2 white actors in Martin Freeman and God, Gollum guy, the actor, forgot his name.
Oh, Andy Serkis, yeah.
Andy Serkis, yeah. Andy Serkis was great.
Well, I mean, Andy
Yeah.
Serkis is just brilliant in everything.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, they had the token white guys in there as well, just to appease the Americans. I wouldn't have had anything remotely fucking American in that film. I would have just.
I don't mind it. Like Ulysses Claw was a good character to bring back.
Well, he's South African anyway, so he's okay to have.
And so, like, I was just upset that they killed him off. You know, because he's such a great character.
Yeah.
You know, but you can multiverse him if you have to.
Yeah.
And obviously Martin Freeman's character has dealt with T'Challa, you know, in other stuff. So
I mean, they could bring him back because he was in Secret Wars as well. The character.
they can multiverse, find a multiverse version.
Yeah, they can multiverse.
Exactly
They can multiverse everything. I mean, they're bringing back the X-Men that way as well, which personally I don't give a shit. Like I saw the trailer to Spider-Man. For some reason, they seem to be doing it right. No spoilers because I only watched a bit of the trailer, but I like the look of it. And I'm like, yes, this we'll go and watch in the cinema if you're up for it, Zamo. But
I'm up for it. But you know what bugs
Avengers,
me?
I'm not. I don't care about Avengers.
Well, what bugs me is that I'm watching Daredevil right now, and like season 1, I'm thinking to myself, somebody like Fisk, who is not only a Daredevil villain but a significant Spider-Man villain as well. Like, why the fuck is Spider-Man not dealing with what's going on with
I would love to give you a creative reason, but it's a legal reason. They can't. Do
I know that. I know that, but stuff like that always bothers me because New York is full of fucking vigilantes and superheroes, you know, and
all we've seen so far is Daredevils and Swordsman and Punisher. That's it. That's all we've seen.
Well, we haven't seen Punisher this season.
Is coming back. Hopefully, we'll get Luke Cage coming back. Hopefully, we'll get Danny Rand coming back.
It is Finn Jones. And by the way, the actress who played Elektra in the series, she's coming back as Elektra.
Oh fuck! I mean, I knew Elektra was coming back because of the Greek connection in the first episode, but I don't. She's a terrible actress, but okay, fine, whatever. Bring her in. As long as we're getting the crew back together, might as well. I did a colossal fuck up as well. I didn't realize that two episodes dropped on April, and I watched the third episode before, and I was just like, because there was that recap bit, and I was like, I don't remember this in episode 1. I must have been looking away when it happened, kind of thing. And I was like, I didn't bother watching episode 2. I was like, there's no point in going back. It doesn't look like I missed anything significant. I caught it in the recap, but what
was important was episode 3 with them finally rescuing those people, and now the Swordsman is out. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more of him. I love Tony Dalton; he's a great actor. I saw him in the Better Call Saul, so good to see him now play the hero, and I look forward to seeing.
I'm very much.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it so far. Even though I skipped episode 2 because I'm just like stupid, but you know, from the 2 episodes I've watched, I'm really enjoying it so far. So much. Better.
Basically, from episode 2, what it is a bullseye. He's kind of haunting Vanessa, the Kingpin's wife, to a degree, and all of that, and he's also a bit. Fisk is also a bit pissed off with his prodigy, Michael Gandolfini's character, because he knows that Michael Gandolfini knows that there's somebody out there who's mocking him to a degree, wearing the Wilson Fisk mask and all of that sort of shit. And he wants Michael Gandolfini to deal with that. And he thinks Michael Gandolfini does kind of know who it is, you know, like I think it's that girl. He
knows it's her. It'd be interesting to see if anything happens to her, or if anything happens to Michael Gandolfini's character. So how many? It's only 5 more episodes left. We're already at. I'm annoyed.
5 more episodes. I do feel. You know, after those prisoners got released, I do think this is the beginning. I mentioned this in my very short review. That I do feel that this is the beginning of the end of Fisk as mayor. I think they're going to end his mayor arc at the end of this season. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, which is good. It's fine. You know what I mean? Though I think it might actually carry on into the Spider-Man film. So we'll wait and see with that, and if it ends there or if it ends in this. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna jump off now. It's 11 o'clock. I'm tired.
You got anything,
Late.
you got anything more to say, Block, before we shoot off?
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm gonna go like in an hour or two watch the new woke Super Mario Galaxy movie because I'm sure that's woke because it's got a princess that doesn't need a prince, you know.
Yeah. Don't forget yourself a Yoshi popcorn bucket as well. Those things look awesome. Yeah, my nephews watched that yesterday. They loved it. I thought it was great.
Oh, by the way, another thing that would be considered woke, and you know this one for sure, Ginge. You don't know about this one, Block, but there was a children's show back in the day called Maid Marian and the Merry Men, and Robin Hood was a fucking idiot. Yeah, if that came out,
great show. What a great Tony Robinson.
It was beating my cat, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, if that came out today, imagine if that came out today, Ginge. Oh my god. You know,
they'd have a meltdown. A black guy in it. I think the black guy would bother them more than anything.
And Robin Hood being a fucking idiot, you know, like
Robin Hood being a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So
oh my
good.
god.
That was such a great show.
Oh,
Tony
man.
Robinson's a fucking asshole, but it's still a great show.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. On that note, we'll see you.